Hello. Can you hear me now? Okay. Well, that's embarrassing. I should check the chat more often. Hey, everybody. Okay, well, let's start over. So, hi. How are you tonight? I do indeed have a voice. All my gesticulating was in reference to my cat who was doing really bad things and being very cute while she was doing it. Now she's appearing to settle down, so that's good. I was telling you a little bit about who played on the song that I'm going to break down tonight, which is Come Undone from 1993. It's from the album that I've learned is colloquially referred to as the wedding album, even though it was their self-titled album. And I'm not saying I don't like other Duran Duran songs. I like Ordinary World. In fact, that was even in a video I did called The Forgotten Chord. It's an example of a minor 4/5 progression. But I love this song. I think it's perfect. So I'm super stoked that one of my patrons suggested it, and then they voted on it for today's live breakdown. So that's pretty much all I was saying. Oh, and then I read off the names of the folks involved in the making of this super good 90s song. So we had the normal vocalist, there we go, Stephen Duffy. The keys were played by Nick Rhodes, as per usual. The bass was programmed, so the bassist wasn't involved in recording the song, but of course plays it live. And then, or at least did, I don't know, their lineup might be different now. And then the guitarist at the time was named Warren Cuccarello. And that iconic guitar riff from the beginning was his. So he was kind of responsible for a lot of the instrumentation in this track, which I think is one of its strengths. And then the beautiful female vocalist is Tessa Niles, who's a British singer. She's got a short Wikipedia page, but I didn't really recognize a whole lot of other songs. Oh, she performed vocals during one version of the song All I Want for Christmas Is You for the 2003 film Love Actually. Oh, okay. So, and I remember hearing this song on the radio. I was a kid. Yes, you're very cute. You're super cute. Stay there though, okay? I guess I would have been, yeah, I was like in grade school, and I just thought it had that, like, there's a certain type of 90s groove. This falls under that category. I'm not sure what to call it, but it sounds sort of like looped and programmed, very groovy. I think it's like kind of based on in R&B just a little bit. I just love that sound. Slow. It's all minor, and I love Tessa's vocals on this. It's just like, that was such a good choice. The song is arranged really well. I think it was produced really well. Lots of really cool details that we'll go over. Beautiful harmonies, vocal harmonies too, and really nicely structured. So I'm super excited. So we're going to listen to the whole thing, and then I'll stop and start it and break it down. Hill Flow says, you have a cat, we don't get to see them. Yes, because they're over there. The camera's pointed that way. She's having a bath right now, so she might make an appearance. She might decide after she finishes chewing on her foot to come on over. We'll see. Good. Oh, I'm so glad y'all are here. Okay, thanks for sticking with me through the audio issues. And this is a part of a weekly live stream series I'm starting. I'm really enjoying it. And usually it's song breakdowns, but I kind of, might do other things during this hour. I have an idea for next week that's not a song breakdown specifically, but I think should be really fun. That involves the Deftones. I know I've already done a lot of videos about them, but there's more. And if you like the series and you want to see it continue and you have the means to contribute a super chat, that would be much appreciated. I'm just super glad you're here. Keep the chat alive. Ask questions. I will catch things here or there as we go. And okay, so if anybody just joined, the song that we're breaking down tonight is Come Undone from 1993. This was a single along with Ordinary World from their The Wedding album. Okay. Oh, I can't wait to hear it. I really can't. It's so good. Okay. Y'all ready? Wow, I just started in the middle of the song. That's cool. Let's start over. Now, is that the did we just listen to the radio edit? I think we did. I was hoping to find the like full version. I think it's 20 seconds longer or something. But yeah, that song slaps, I think. Maybe I'm just biased. I don't know. I was pretty picky. I was pretty picky in the 90s. I just think this was really, really well done. And I was listening to it probably for the first time ever with headphones, like good headphones. Just going, oh God, there's so many layers, you know? So many little details. And I love that shit. They're the kind of things that you don't maybe consciously hear, but they're there and they affect you, you know? So, okay. Let's take a step back and look at the basics. Okay, songs in 4/4. No weird time signatures here, no weird phrasing. Just a really nice, solid, slow, soulful groove. Real strong tambo action, but I actually really like it. And one of my favorite things about the groove is the hi-hat. It's like, there's like these two offbeat hi-hat sizzles that are part of the loop. I don't exactly know why I like that so much. Offbeats just are cool. They're syncopated. It gives it, that sizzle gives it a little sexiness, I think, and just a little bit of, I don't know, rhythmic dynamics. It's just interesting. You know, it's not just constant. Really, really nice. This kind of groove has a very syncopated kick as well. So it feels very human. You can really sit into it. It's in no way robotic, even though it's a loop. If you don't know what syncopated means, it's just stressing things that are on off beats, stressing things that are on beats that are considered weak, like tuck, 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 tuck. That would be the beat, but the little k is the off, like tuck, tuck, tuck. So if I stress the off beat, it's like tuck, tuck, tuck. It just kind of need the beats and the off beats to sort of play off each other. Okay, so that's that. And then let's figure out what key it's in. It sounds very minor and harmonic minor to me. So that's one of the lowest notes I can sing. So maybe it's C. Aha. This is how you can get around not having perfect pitch, is you just memorize where the notes feel in your throat. Like, it's like one of the lowest notes I can sing. Or this is kind of medium. Or I have to go into my head voice for this one. Or, you know, I get you in the ballpark. Okay, so I think it's in C minor and C harmonic minor. So the first lick, I love this guitar. And it's got, okay, so you guys were saying some of this on the chat, but it's a flanger, is that right? It's a flanger. I just, not being a guitarist, I just knew it had that. It's like, it sounds both clean, like not distorted, right? But then it's modulating in some way. And it has, the modulation feels, it almost feels like there's multiple layers of flanging or phasing or something. And, you know, it's just that like very watery. And I think that's kind of how those guitars always sound to me, is like, I'm looking at the guitar from under the water, or it's in the water, or there's some water in the way. Either way. Phaser, flanger. All right, well, y'all can argue about it. So. Is this loud enough? Feels kind of quiet. Nice syncopation there. I don't think it goes down like that, but let's just double check. It's a nice pattern. We got a descending line, I mean. Little turnaround there. This is the The melody, right, the vocal melody, I think, came out of this, right, for the verse. This is gonna be low for me. And then, but the lower note that the guitar is playing is implying the root of chords. If you're not sure what I mean by implied chords, I just put out a video about Trent Reznor, all about implied harmony. So we got. Okay, so this is implying C minor, and then some kind of B flat chord, something like that. Then there's this sort of like I like how the bottom note moves before the top note. Oh god, this is getting way too detailed, but it's true. I like how there's this separation. Then it goes down, then it holds, then it goes down, then it goes down there. So you get this like nice sort of push and pull harmony and all sorts of different combinations of intervals. But yeah, so C minor, essentially B flat major, and then A flat major, and then back up to B flat major. And this in the Roman numerals, which you've heard me talk about, is 1, flat 7, a flat 6, and flat 7 again. And this flat 6 chord is definitely part of why the song is so good and why I love it so much. It's not that difficult to get me on your side with a flat 6 chord. So it's going to do some really nice stuff in the pre-chorus. Okay, and then let's see if there's that variation, because later there's a chord variation. Okay, you got a little taste of the harmonic minor scale right there. Hear that little it had this little chromatic walk up, and the pre-chorus has this little diversion into harmonic minor, and that scale sounds like this. Which by itself sounds very exotic, right? But it's actually one of the most popular scales. I feel like it's like major is most popular and then harmonic minor. I don't know if that's true. That's just how it seems. Okay. So the drums come in. I love how they kind of, the guitar has the kind of the first part of the intro to itself. And then drums come in, bass comes in. Again, this is programmed, but this bass rocks. It sounds like it's moving very chromatically too, like like this. Okay. Okay, there's the chord change. So sometimes, especially in the chorus, they go from C minor up to E flat major before plunging down to the flat 6 chord. And a real music theorist would say, well, then the song's actually in E flat major. And I would go, I don't know, it sounds minor to me, so. I just consider that a temporary major lift, to quote the Hallelujah song. But yeah, you could think of this in major terms as well if you like. But I think that's very pretty, and you'll see when the vocal melody comes in how nice that is. Okay.
Immaculate tree, made breath and skin. I've been waiting for
listen to the effects on his voice. It's cool though, because I don't know, it doesn't feel excessive to me. There's a lot of reverb, there's a delay, probably some other things going on, but it just adds to that sort of mysterious, ethereal sound. But listen to the trail like after him. Mine. So many mines, right? Mine. And I don't even know if I can tell you the exact delay pattern, because it feels like maybe there's more than one delay. Ping-ponging, it's a little bit unpredictable, but it's rhythmically in the grid. It's just sort of like, ooh, what rhythm is that? Maybe it's just on the beats. Ooh, I kind of like that.
Immaculate tree, made breath and skin. I've been waiting.
So yeah, here singer and guitarist are very in sync, right? But he's just more ornamented, Steven. I love this little like hook at the end. I've been waiting for you. All right, it's too low for me. Waiting for you. I kind of like how he sort of resolves his melody before the chord does. So by that I mean it's like he kind of leaves you on the chord leaves you on a cliffhanger, but he kind of goes home when the chord stays. So there's this nice little detail. Waiting for you. Okay. So I looked up the lyrics because there's a couple words in here that just didn't quite calculate, and I looked at the lyrics and I was like, I don't know, is that really real, or like are these lyrics sanctioned by the band? So I'd be curious to know what you're hearing. But the lyrics on Genius.com or something said she's saying can't ever keep from falling. Oh God, where is I? Can't ever keep from falling apart. Yeah, can't ever keep from falling apart at the seams. Can I believe you're taking my heart to pieces? I don't know. So to me, these vocals add so much to the song. I don't know if everybody feels that way about them, but I mean, I guess it sort of gives that implication that this is one of those like duets, you know, like it's a love song and both people in the relationship are like singing, you know, they're like we're witnessing them communicating or something. I don't think of these as backup vocals. This is like a very important line in the song. One of the coolest things about what she's doing, I think, is her rhythm. The notes are really cool too, but cannot believe you. Wait, what is it? Can't ever keep from falling apart at the seams. Okay, so she's going da 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 da. So this is called a polyrhythm, and so if you ever got a cool feeling from that, like something is just not lining up or it's just a little different, that's why. This is basically she's singing in a pattern of 3 over a pattern of 2. I believe it's that type. It might be 3 over 4. Let me just double check because they are actually different. So what that means is that in the span of 2 beats, she sings in 3. Same amount of time divided by 3 divided by 2. If it's 4 against 3 though, then it's in the span of 3 beats, there's 4. Anyway, okay, so Yeah, I think it's 3 against 2. Anyway, but this has such a cool, like, tumbling forward feeling. And then she puts the brakes on right at the end, right, with the note change. So I just, yeah, it feels like it has momentum, is what I'm trying to say. And then she stops it. So, at the seams. And that's so pretty. Why is that so pretty? It's a suspension. Okay, suspensions are basically when you go one note above or one note below the third of a chord, which sounds like this. It's the beating heart of the chord, in my opinion. It's very emotionally evocative. It's the thing that makes the chord minor or major. Okay, so it's very powerful. So she's going just above it and then returning to, so there's this like, da, 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 at the seams. So suspension is just, you're just like hovering either above or below, and then you resolve. So I think that's part of why that part's so pretty. Oh, sorry. At the seams. And then let's just double check what the chords are doing in case they changed. And I'll answer, hey Chig, thanks for the donation. Is there some sort of synth program making some of that ethereal noise? Underneath her, let's see.
Tattoo, happy birthday to you, was created for you.
Yeah, it sounds like keys to me. Mostly in the right channel. They're sort of what's that remind me of? Chime-like, slightly chime timbred, or like a bell of some kind. I don't know, but it does sound like a synth. But what I like about it is, you know, early 90s stuff and 80s stuff can sound kind of cheesy. Sorry. It can sometimes sound like not the highest quality imitations of real instruments, right? I like I just think their taste on this track is really, really good. That synth sounds like a synth, but it doesn't sound cheesy to me. It sounds like it adds texture that's really deep, and I don't know. I like it. So I think that's what it is. Yeah. Okay, so anyway. At the seams, cannot believe you're taking my heart to pieces. So she's also got this like, I love this. This is called the flat 7 chord. This is the B flat in the key of C. It's a whole step below the tonal center. And she's singing a melody that right here is describing C minor. Cannot believe you're taking my heart to pieces. That one, okay? But it's over this chord. So there's listen to the tension. To pieces. Right, there's like this incomplete feeling. I just love that. So she repeats her line, right? But then she changes it the second time. Over the incredible flat 6 chord. So that's just a really, really amazing sound. To pieces. And then Steven comes back in. And I love this. It's like this is the echoing the mine, right? Just one word, one note that just rings out, and you're left with just the ethereal ghost sort of what he just sang. So this time he goes,
it'll take a little time.
What did he just say? No, I don't know. It'll take. Okay, so now he's got a variation. This is the pre-chorus. What's cool though is that it sounds like the verse is starting over, but it's not. It's going to take a diversion.
Might take a little cry to come undone. Now we'll try
Vocal harmonies.
to the open field outside.
Oh my gosh. This pre-chorus is amazing, I think. I think there's some really nice choices here with the harmony. So first, it'll take a little it'll sorry, I'm terrible with lyrics. To come undone now we'll try. So this to come undone ascending line just leads so nicely up the scale to the starting note of the pre-chorus. It just works. Sorry. Come undone now we'll. But what I like about it is that it feels like you're about to return home to C minor, the most important chord in the whole song. That's our beginning and ending chord. That's where everything feels like it's this is the sun of this song's solar system. But it does this little fake out, which you could say is a deceptive cadence, and goes to the flat 6 chord instead. The reason that works so nicely is because this chord, flat 6, shares 2 out of its 3 notes with C minor. So a lot of things that sound good over this C minor chord are going to sound good over this A flat major chord. And they clearly are different chords, but there's something familiar because they have so much in common. So it's a really nice choice. So we have to come undone now we'll try. That's kind of what you're expecting, but come undone now we'll try. Is that pretty? To stay wild. Is it wild or blind? Can't remember. Okay, so okay, I love this. Now we're moving into the harmonic minor sound with this dramatic major chord that you don't really expect. We went from this chord down to G major. 2 major chords, half step apart, so much weight and magnetism there. Okay. And he just sings into that drama so strongly. I just have to look up the lyrics. I feel so silly going. I never said I was good at lyrics. Okay. We'll try to stay blind to the hope and fear outside. Hey child, stay wilder than the wind and blow me into cry. Is that really what he says? Huh. Okay, so we'll try to stay blind to the hope and fear outside. Wow, I just think that's so great. First of all, he's doing a lot of little chromatic side steps. They're called neighbor tones, but so that's just it really centers you on that note. And then that's hard to sing, by the way. He does a great job. I love his voice in the song. I don't always feel that way about his performances, like they're just not my style necessarily, but I feel like whatever he tapped into for this one, it just seems like he used his voice to its full potential, and it just really works nicely in my opinion. So it's another one of those sort of suspended sounds, suspended fourth, like amen. Okay, now he's gonna start Hey Child Stay Wild, but he's gonna sing the same notes as we'll try to stay blind, right? So again, you kind of expect they're gonna go back to this chord. Hey child, stay wild. But he does another I keep saying they do another deception. So whoever made this choice, maybe it was the guitarist, I don't know. They go to a chord that has 2 notes in common with the flat 6 chord, but in the other direction. It's called the 4 chord, and it's minor. And I love this part. So we got stay blind to the hope and fear outside. Hey, child. It's so vulnerable sounding because the flat 6 chord's major and really bold. Hey, child. But it's, hey, child. Can you hear that? Like, you could poke holes in this chord. Like, this is not this doesn't feel strong. It's fragile. It's like, it's minor for one. And it just shows a different side of that same melody by playing underneath it. Hey, child, got the 7th. And then they do another chord substitution, which is great. And it goes, instead of going back up to this G major chord, which is what gives it that sort of exotic harmonic minor sound, they make it minor. I'm pretty sure. Let me just double check.
Now we'll try to stay blind to the hope and fear outside. Hey, child, stay wilder than the wind and blow me into cry.
Yes, it is. Okay, so we got. Hey, child, stay wilder than the wind and blow me into cry. Okay, so this is the minor 5 chord, highly underutilized. It exists naturally in the Mixolydian scale, which is rock major. Sorry. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, this song is not in that scale, but that's kind of, you could think of it as coming from that scale. It also comes from regular minor, but they've been kind of doing like this non-regular minor, which is called harmonic minor the whole time. So it's a shift. It's definitely a shift. So yeah, okay. Hey, child, stay wild, which has a much colder, more enchanting, I think, detached sound. So for example, if they went back to the major version, hey, child, stay wild, than the wind, like that, okay? But then they go up to flat 7 and blow me into cry. I think that's so beautiful, that upward line. And it leads us to C. C is the sun in this song's solar system. And listen to how they process his voice when he sings cry.
And the wind and blow me into cry.
Some technique where either, I mean, I don't know, I can only speculate, but it sounds like his cry got reverbed and then decays for a very long time, or some other effect, I don't know, but it extends it in a really ethereal way, and it's so enchanting, right? Similarly, there's a higher frequency something or other that's kind of adding to that. Let's see.
And blow me into cry.
I think it might be a pad, I'm not sure, but it's very airy sounding, and it kind of rises up a little bit with his voice, which just builds tension that then kind of is released on cry. And cry is on the first beat of the chorus, so it kind of goes across the lines, right?
The wind and blow me into cry. Who do you need? Who do you love when you come undone?
Beautiful. Okay, so now we're in the chorus, and we get the alternate version of the chord progression. C minor. Who do you need? And then it goes up to this E flat major chord instead of going down. Then it plunges down to flat 6. Who do you love when you come undone? And the bass does a little bit of like, it goes down to G, which I really like. That's the 5th. It has a nice supportive sound. But listen, okay, so this melody would sound beautiful over the original chord progression. Listen. Who do you need? Who do you love when you come undone? But what they do is, who do you need? Really pretty. Who do you love when you come undone? And I think why? I think it's the harmony, because that note, that first one, which he sings, who do you need? It's like the most repeated note in that whole line, is creating a chord that sounds like this. You can probably hear there's a lot of clustered tones in there. Essentially, that chord is called an add 9, which is just when you have a major chord, then you have this special note that you add. It's referred to as the 9th. Okay. And he's singing the 9th against this chord. So it's just every time he crosses that line, I think that's why I find that so pretty, because I love the sound of 9ths, especially when they're added to major or minor chords. Check it out. Add 9 minor. Sorry. This is a very clustered voicing. Okay, I know this is a detour, but I have to do it if it's major. Let's do okay. That's when it's kind of more spread out. Isn't that pretty? Minor. Oh. Anyway, so that's probably why I like it so much. But also, this major chord, unlike the flat 6 chord, which is also major, doesn't sound dramatic to me. It has to do with its distance from everything. This chord sounds like a really warm light coming through. It's a little bit more tender and a little bit more like it hugs you. So, who do you need? Just feels good. Who do you love? And then you get this, right? When you come undone. So, when you come undone, I love that hook as well. When you come undone. I've always heard it that way. I just want to double check he's actually doing that little dip. You know, like when you come undone, done. Or if he's just going, come undone. Maybe he does both.
And blow me into who do you need? Who do you love when you come undone? Who do you need? Who do you love when you come undone?
Okay, I'm wrong. I think he's just going, come undone, done, done. He's just kind of going to the note, but he's got a little scoop, just like a little baby scoop that sort of just creates like a separation. It's not like a choral, like come undone. It's like done, something. But if you always sang it like me, then I think we're still allowed. It still sounds like enough like his melody, right? Mm-hmm. I'm hearing more of that really like elongated, decaying reverb or whatever it may be, also coming kind of off of his notes in the chorus. So it just has, it's like the verse has a little bit more of an intimate sound with the vocals, and then the chorus, he sounds like he's like in the ether and he's like surrounding you a little bit more. It's beautiful. Then we get this little interlude with drums.
When you come undone.
Listen to all the... Okay, see, Before headphones, I really didn't notice all those little details. The kind of trailing delays of his vocals. Dun, dun, dun. And the little, I guess it's the bass. It sounds sort of like picked. I know it was programmed, but man. Is the bass also got that kind of watery, flangey, phasery sound to it? I feel like it kind of does. That's very The Cure, isn't it? I don't know. I'm learning a lot from you guys about that sound, but
When you come undone,
oh, I guess that's the guitar still playing, right? It's just really low. Okay, never mind. It's not the bass. The bass is a little bit more round, warm, kind of soulful. Okay, but yeah, I love that.
play me deja vu like a rain.
Now the bass changes here, and didn't notice that before. It sounds like an octave lower than it was before. So low that you kind of can't hear the notes anymore. It feels more like it's just adding this low rumble, right? And they're pretty well defined sounding bass lines. Like it's rhythmic, it's a little bit funky, right? It's not watery. But it's very intermittent. So there's a lot of like buoyancy in this second verse, because whenever the bass stops playing, it feels a little empty. It's like
Deja vu like a radio tune. I swear I've heard before. Chill.
okay, now what is that? I've heard that the second time I've heard that. It's like this little
I've heard before. Chill.
I like this. I like the timbre of that. It reminds me almost of like a cello being plucked, like pizzicato cello or something. I don't know. Ooh, did you hear that? Okay, so I don't know what is causing this exactly, but it sounds almost like it sounds like an inhale. Whether or not it is, I think it's evocative of that. But that kind of inhale, right? They're like, I am personally really affected by and fascinated by sounds and music that I think mimic body cycles or systems, or like really primal things in nature. You know, like a heartbeat thing, or low rumbles can sound like danger, you know. Breathing. I mean, I think that's part of why I like house music, is because it has this side chain compression that makes usually the like mids and highs sort of duck down when the bass hits, so you get this feeling. It just like it kind of, I feel like it just kind of hits you in the lizard brain a bit, and that creates like an emotional response. But I would like to study that more, because I don't really know what I'm talking about. I can only speak about my experiences, but
is it something real, or the magic I'm feeding off your fingers?
okay.
In the snow-filled sky,
What is that?
we'll make it alright to come on.
Not sure I was consciously aware of this whole line, but there's something that sounds synthesized. Wow, that was very alliterative. I don't know if it is, but it comes in and kind of wails right after he sings Lost, right? Lost?
Lost in the snow-filled.
And it's in parallel fifths or fourths. Right, we're in key of C, right? Okay, up here. G and C. Then it goes down to F and B flat. So, lost. And then... Okay, let's see.
In the snow-filled sky,
Then it goes down to da. Then it goes to thirds. A flat and G. And then
To come undone.
and then it just sounds like it goes da, da, and ends on F. So this really nice. Ah, this little seventh tension. And then, but it sounds so dynamic and alive and organic. I just love synths that do that. Okay, well, let's listen to it one more time and then we'll keep going. But nice production choice. It really accentuates what he's saying, and you know, it also just adds some contrast between the other pre-chorus.
We'll make it alright to come undone. Now we'll try.
And listen to what's going on with the bass. It's amazing. This is not a bass line I necessarily was like aware of until I kind of sat down with y'all and been like, what's going on here? But I think the bass is doing a whole lot more than we realize. So not only in the second verse, it goes down, I think, an octave and gets much more percussive and kind of intermittent. But I think in this pre-chorus, it kind of does something similar. It doesn't feel like it's very supportive of the chords anymore.
Snow-filled sky.
So to say, maybe it's like a pedal point, like just like a C the whole time, but I'm not sure.
You're taking my heart to pieces.
Lost in the snow-filled sky. We'll make it alright to come undone.
I mean, in some ways, I'm having trouble discerning the kick from the bass when it's that low. So it kind of feels like I heard a bass on a C, and then kind of staying on C, and then it sounded like it kind of stopped, and it was just the kick. So there's definitely a feeling that you're abandoned by the bass a bit, and then when it comes back in on the pre-chorus, there's this relief feeling. So
To come undone. Now we'll try to stay blind.
and do you guys hear like a reverse something? Reverse guitar maybe?
Try to stay blind.
I'm not positive it's reversed, but I'm feeling those feelings. But it's kind of going na na.
To stay blind to the hope and fear outside. Hey, child.
Okay, I don't think it's reversed. I wonder why it sounded like that at first.
To the hope and fear outside. Hey, child.
Love that part.
Stay wilder than.
Oh, did you hear the bass go up there? I know this is getting really choppy, sorry, but the bass does a little, it goes high. Hang on. Right after Hey Child.
Hey, child. Stay wilder than the wind and blow me into cry.
Before we go into the outro, which I love, there's some vocal harmonies I meant to go over, okay? So, the vocal harmonies start on the pre-chorus.
We'll make it alright to come undone. Now we'll try to stay blind to the hope and fear outside. Hey, child, stay wilder than the wind and blow me into cry.
Yeah, so it's just on some of the words, which is really smart of them. They didn't feel like they had to add vocal harmonies to everything. I think that level of discernment demonstrates their musicianship. They just did it when it just was needed. Like it added a little something. These are not super obvious vocal harmonies. They leave it off. They leave it off here. So when he goes, we'll try, nothing.
We'll make it alright to come undone. Now we'll
then on to Stay Blind, they add this third in parallel above, which just accentuates it a little bit. But it's kind of, like I said, it's not obvious. So you're probably not even aware that's happening or that line is actually standing out. And then on that 5 chord, the we've got a vocal harmony going. It's kind of just singing notes in the chord above him, but that accentuates that melody even more as well. Good harmonies, I think, will either create purposeful tension that's going to get released at some point. So it's like building, or they basically strengthen the melody. That's a working theory. I could have amendments to that. I should say that's a hypothesis. Okay, so
Now we'll try to stay blind to the hope and fear outside. Hey,
no harmony.
child, stay wilder than the wind and blow me.
Okay, now harmonies on the chorus. Oh, wait. I always thought there was a vocal harmony on Who Do You Need? But it's not a vocal, I don't think. I think it's a synth. But it's kind of voice-like, like a ethereal ghost voice. But it's in parallel thirds above him. So he's going up. Who do you need? Yeah. It's really subtle, though. Oh, that's cool.
When you come undone, who do you need? Who do you love?
I don't know what it is.
When you come undone,
All right, now
who do you need? Who do you
layering some of Tessa's vocals. So before, right, they had a kind of give and take, or a call and response, you might say. But now they're together, which I think is symbolic, and it's a really nice arrangement choice. So they're not singing over each other, but they're interspersed much more quickly, right? So now it's da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, who do you need, right? So they kind of split up her vocals a little bit, and he kind of came in there. Now he's starting to ad-lib, and I really like his ad-libs. I'll go over the part in particular. But he starts sort of like lengthening some of his notes, and then he starts some of his who do you need lines like in different places than usual, which puts the word love in different places than usual. So again, this is almost like a context shift for the line. So
when you come undone,
now it goes up.
who do you need? Who do you love?
So you can hear there's like a I don't know if it's a pre-delay or whatever, but it sounds like a premonition. So you hear a little ghost on the left going who do you need? Who do you need? And then who do you love? Who do you love? Is that right?
When you come undone, who do you need? Who do you love?
Goes down.
Who do you love? When you come undone.
I love his high notes in this song. They're so pretty. The long high notes. Really, really beautiful. But yeah, it's kind of like everything's a little offset. Where he sings, who do you need? Who do you love? Yeah. And I look forward to that part every time. Cool. Oh, it was such a joy to pick this apart, I guess, and listen to it on good sound system. I mean, I know it's not really a sound system, but it's way better than my car or a phone or what have you. Just being able to pick out all those details was super cool. Well, before I go tonight, any questions, anything you want to ask about the song or about the Chanel? This is your moment. I'll just check the chat. Derek loves the 4 chord that's not major. The minor 4, yeah. I think it was either Adam Neely or Charles Cornell was the first person, at least, that I heard talk about it as a nostalgia chord, and I think that's a great name for it. It just has that feeling, especially when it's set against in a major key. It's really, really pretty. That's the sound of Radiohead, my friends. Sorib says this song is very popular now. This song? Cool. Making a comeback. I mean, it does sound like the 90s, but it also, again, it just has a good, it's I think the best of that the early 90s had to offer, you know? Really nice taste. Yeah. Ordinary World. So I've heard Ordinary World. I've heard Say a Prayer. I've heard Hungry Like the Wolf. I like Ordinary World. But yeah, I haven't listened. I had no reason, I guess, to go digging deeper because I just, you know. But I would dig a little bit if you had some other recommendations. I do take requests on my Patreon at the end of the month. We do a live stream. So if there's a certain song you want to watch me listen to and give my thoughts, check it out. We just did it for May, so maybe for June. It's like 90s R&B with some extra dream pop layers. Yeah, totally. Love it. CS, off topic, what keyboard are you using? Well, I'm actually borrowing this keyboard at the moment. I know you can't really see this part, but it's a Roland FP60. And my Korg B2 kind of broke, and the quote I got to repair it was just too high to justify repairing. So I've been thinking about how to maybe work with like Yamaha. I just don't know how to do any of that kind of thing, but I really liked their keyboards that I was playing in the music store the other day. Their FP125 looks really, really good. I loved the action. The action on this one's very different. I'm getting used to it though. It's got solid construction. And I'm running it as a MIDI controller essentially through Logic and using Logic Steinway Grand patch. Glenn says, thank you, Glenn. Does the backing count as tambourine? Derek asks, what's next? Like for the live stream series? So don't quote me on this. I'm still thinking about it. But I think next week, same time, I'm going to do my favorite 3 Deftones songs from every studio album, every LP of theirs. I recently listened to Ohms and have been listening to it pretty much nonstop since to sort of like fall in love because I actually hadn't heard it. And I'm trying to do the same thing with the B-sides and rarities because I only had Ordinary Love as an MP3 just floating around somewhere and hadn't even heard the whole album. So far I love Waxes and Wanes, that cover from the Cocteau Twins song. And then I'm still trying to decide on my third. But yeah, why did I just tell you all that? Now you don't want to watch the live stream. No. So that's what I'm thinking. And then I'll edit it down for like a reasonably long video. That's what I'm thinking, but we'll see. If not, it might be the Flaming Lips. Do you realize? Yeah. Oh yeah, and then yes, my next Radiohead video is gonna be exit music for a film, like a full 30-ish minute long analysis. So I'm still studying, and hopefully I'll get to recording that this week, and then the editing takes however long it takes. So June, it'll be done in June for sure. I can say that with confidence. Cool. All right, y'all. Well, thank you so much for coming. This was really fun. And I will see y'all in the next video or live stream. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day or night. And until next time.